Hey everybody, welcome back to Cades and Trading. It is Friday, January 3rd, 2025, and I'm going to do the daily ETF watchlist walkthrough in a moment. But before I do, you may have noticed, if you've been following these videos at all, that I've updated my indicator now to have a bit of different information in my little label here that shows data about the most recent bar. For details on this, I just published a video explaining what moving averages are and how to leverage them and whatnot. So go check that video out if you have the time and you're curious about what this all is. I'm not going to cover this here now, but some good information in there, so check it out. Anyway, going into the walkthrough, skipping everything that was down today because you're not going to want to buy it. Yesterday there was still no buy signals on anything that I could see anyway. Let's go and see if there's any today. I'm curious to see if there's anything. I don't think there is, but we'll see. SLV stuck in a downtrend. Started to come up a little bit, but this is a bearish bar. When it opens up this high and then falls down the entire day, it's definitely bearish. KWeb falling, not really moving much, not worth your time. EMV, slightly interesting. The uptrend is leveling off now. It seems to be banging its head on the $40 area, and that's not uncommon when it's like a divisible by 10 price. You want to see it kind of blast through here. It looks like it could be chopping around this area for a little bit. I wouldn't consider it until it gets over the hump of the $40 price range. Unless you really think and you're really sure that it has the oomph to get over there. And by the looks of it, I would say it doesn't. There's not a lot of volume. Not much above average anyway, so I would say hold off on that. ERX, I had been watching this one closely today, thinking it might be the closest thing to being buyable that I follow, and yet I still couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger on it. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So the first one being, when you have a downtrend this steep and this fast, I think it's going to take a little more time to have more confidence in this. Typically what I'll do is I'll say, okay, here's the first real bar that I would consider buying, but I want to follow through from this one. So then the next day, on January 2nd, it gets a bit of a follow through, but it closes pretty much at a doji, halfway down the bar. So that doesn't give you a lot of reassurance and comfort. So then today, it closed better, and it's moving up, and it's productive, but because of this huge downtrend, I feel like I need more than that. I need a little bit more confirmation before I can say, yes, I'm going to buy it. Another reason is there is some slight resistance here. You have the close here or the open here. Like there's a little bit of stuff here that gives me a little bit of pause. Down here too, if you keep going way back, there's a lot of stuff that kind of closed in that area. So it's almost as if price has like a memory, when you look back at the charts, a lot of times, more often than not, when things close, they close at these points that are kind of battlegrounds. And this one kind of has that situation going on right now. Average volume, it literally had the exact same volume it normally has, the 20-day average. And then the other thing is if I look at its 5 minutes, it just didn't have like great volume. Like it was okay. Like I just want to see more volume in general. It leveled off. It didn't do anything necessarily wrong, but it didn't do anything great either. And ERX is one of mine that it's not on my focus list, so it's not one that I trade frequently. So it's another reason that I'm like, yeah, I'd rather go with the devil I know than something I don't know as well. So I held off on it, but I would say, if anything, this one is as close to being buyable as any out there. And as I always say, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's just kind of a living diary of my thoughts about trading. Okay, so carrying on, BITU, up day, terrible volume. Like it was just so quiet, only half its normal volume. So that gives me pause. At least it is trying to come upwards, so that's good. FAS, kind of sideways right now. Can avoid that. LABU, fell down a bunch. Have this kind of weird double bottom thing going on here. And here's what I was talking about with like these price points that are kind of like a memory, where price closed today at 96.77. It looks like it opened around that same point on this day, and then the day before that, the low was at that level. If I go back in history, I'm sure I could find more stuff related to it. Yeah, so there's a bunch. Not that I'd be buying this or anything, but it's just, you know, evidence about how charts tend to work. They definitely are not completely random. I know a lot of people think they are, but it's not true. WebL had that great run up, now is kind of taking a breather. And when you have this kind of a run, you gotta kind of catch up a little bit and fall back some until you get going again. This is not ready. GDXD, like a weird little uptrend, falling, not doing much of anything right now. This is an avoid. FNGU, I really like this ETF, but it's just not, it's not at a point that it could be bought right now. It looks like it tried to put in some sort of a bottom formation here. So that's kind of nice. Maybe it'll kind of ramp up from here. It's trending in the right direction. At least it's trying to move up. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye on it. DRN, nothing going on here, just sideways during a downtrend. Yin, kind of hard to see what's going on there. I'll go logarithmic. Downtrend coming up a little bit, not a lot of volume, not worth even paying attention to. TNA, still sideways, can avoid that. SPYU, this is kind of, to me, like FNGU, but not as strong. It's a lot slower moving. This is the 4X S&P 500 ETF. I want to see it start to come up. It had been so strong for all of 2024, and I'm hoping it can kind of get back to that level, but right now it's very, very bearish, so we'll avoid that. TQQQ, very sideways, ugly. It's TQQQ, another one that I'd like to see turn up more. It had a good day today. It was up 4.79%, which is nice. I wouldn't be buying here. I would want some follow through, so perhaps on the next day or two we might get it. It's an avoid. SOXL, that one had good movement today, but it closed right at a resistance area here. You can see that, you know, there's a lot of bars that kind of either had a close in this area or a low in this area, a high in this area, something along those lines. So I think this is going to take a little more time to get going. You can see it's very much choppy too. You know, I have this little uptrend, this little downtrend, this little uptrend, this little downtrend. This sort of behavior will kill you if you try to get in and out of it over and over again. For me, it just doesn't work out. I guess if you're a really good day trader, you could try it, but I would rather avoid that. ETHU, really nice day, not a lot of volume. Turning up, this is one to keep an eye on because the exponential moving average is starting to swing upwards. So again, I would want to see a follow through here, see it come through and see it kind of start raising up, and then I'd have more confidence in it. As of right now, this could just be a one-day wonder and it could come right back down. Gold is crazy. Huge volume the other day. The next day, closed with a doji, and then back up a little bit, but down from the previous day. Today, really strong volume, trending in the right direction. I would need to see yet another day. I want the follow through. Strong pink ribbon down, not a good sign. This is the kind of thing, especially KOLD and Boyle, they both have a habit of, you know, they'll gap up one day like this did, and then the very next day it'll gap back down. It's very difficult. You can see it right here. Falling, coming back up, gap up, falling and a gap down, looks bullish. It's hard to make heads or tails out of it. This one gapped up, gap down, gap up, gap up. But who knows? So its behavior is very erratic, very difficult to trade, especially right now. So yet again, I would say just sit on your hands and don't do anything yet. ERX has some potential. There's a couple other ones that I would keep an eye on, but they're not ready yet. So still requires patience. That's all there is to it. There's not much else to say. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe next week we'll have the first full week of the year. Maybe things will start ramping up and we'll have some opportunities to get going. The longer we sit here without trading, the more boring it is to me. And like, I want to be in trades. I'm kind of like most traders, I guess, where, you know, the fun is actually being in a trade while you're just waiting. It's just kind of monotonous. But that's all for today. Thank you everyone for watching. If you do like this content, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. I like I say, I plan on doing this every single market day. So thanks again, and have a good one, everybody. See ya.